radiant beings on the awakening path. Thank you for spending time with me once again. You know, this morning I was getting some things ready for my yoga students for the equinox. And I remembered it was 6 years ago today that the whole world changed with no possibility of it ever going back to normal. Isn't it interesting how it's the same at time as the equinox? See, they are very spiritually aware, and they use numerology, astrology, ceremony, rituals, chants, even nature, focused intention, but for darkness. These are neutral, powerful tools that could also be used to perpetuate good, like love and safety and abundance and prosperity and joy. Could you imagine living in a world where love ruled? Like unconditional love. And everyone was healed and healthy, living their fullest potential. People respect each other online and offline, and peace is just a given. This is the world I am envisioning. We could use these tools to perpetuate good. So there's this phenomena called the Maharishi effect, named for the man who brought us the transcendental meditation technique. This is where when people get together and meditate, they tap into the unified field of consciousness all around them and influence the environment, bringing coherence into the social energy grid. There have been direct correlations between groups meditating and a reduced crime rate in an area, in any given area. One of my favorite quotes is from Gandhi: "Be the change you wish to see in the world." I used to have that posted above my door in real beautiful writing. If we focus on peace and love and goodness, we will bring more of that into the world and influence those around us while reducing our own suffering. This involves maintaining a daily spiritual practice and good energetic hygiene and the close working co-creative relationship with that force of divine love and light, the way you understand it. That seems to be the most important thing at this time. Knowing that if you're watching this, you are a warrior of good and feeling, I'm sure, quite disgusted at the evil in this place and wish to see your fellow humans thrive instead of suffer. Kudos to you who are awake warriors. Kudos to those who didn't fall for the propaganda of 2020. I smelled a rat right in the onset. Something was not right. It seemed everything was contrived. You could almost see the plan. The coercion and the shaming made it quite obvious to me that this was a scam. I often think about what it is that makes some of us able to see through the lies, while many others just cannot. They can't see that Hegelian dialect, the problem, reaction, solution tool that these governments use. It's almost like we can see people's intentions. We study maybe subconsciously how these people are truly and use critical thinking to discern what their true intentions are. Some of it is also, I believe, clairsentience and claircognizance. Our spiritual gifts are more online than most people's. Why is that? There is a part of us that remembers who and what we are, and no amount of poisoning or mind control is going to make us sleep. It behooves us to do a daily check-in with ourselves, to bring light to things we may be unaware of within ourselves. This is what a healing practice is. Certainly we have some unaware parts of our beingness, given all the poisons and loose extractions in our environment. This is consciously traversing the path towards enlightenment, the highest frequency according to the Hawkins scale of consciousness. Enlightenment. We need to consciously traverse the path towards enlightenment daily and overcome all the ways we have been disempowered by the opposing force. There is no question for those of us with eyes to see that we are heading quickly toward the pinnacle of the war of good and evil. It is time for us warriors of good to rise. We knew this time would come. I remember conversing about this in spiritual circles years ago, like it was some future happening in the far off. We saw in 2020 who was awake and who was asleep. Most were asleep because their souls had been so beaten down by this world. They had that cognitive dissonance where it's just too disturbing to admit it's true. So you go ahead and live in the comfortable lie and conform to that because it's much easier than rebelling for the truth. Unless they are really far gone, there is still something inside these people that knows the truth. I'm convinced of it. That's why we've been conditioned as a whole to ignore that wisdom which resides in the body, to ignore our intuition. Things like yin yoga and seated meditation can bring us back in touch. These are such important tools. So we are the strong souls. We refuse to stand down, censor ourselves, and play the games. Many of us had to do this in childhood with the pink elephant in the living room. Now that we are adults, we can choose and decide to take our power back. And that's what this channel is all about. If that resonates with you, please like and subscribe. I have so many interesting and fun and important tools to help us abide as powerful HSPs, empaths, warriors of love. So none of us are immune to the intricate workings of mind control. It is so insidious. Remember what the mind control did to people in 2020? Even our closest friends and family accused of us of being grandma killers, when empathy is our strong suit, as if the injustice of how we were treated wasn't enough. We also had to grieve. We had that grief of losing people whom we cared about as they got experimental injections we tried with all our might to warn them about. But why listen to us? We're just crazy, right? I couldn't save my mom from getting it. My mom and I used to have just wonderful, amazing spiritual conversations, but I couldn't stop her from getting it. My stepdad, her husband, had the news media on every waking moment, and she had always been very influenced by him, for better or for worse. Last year, he died from an aggressive bout of terminal cancer, and it doesn't seem like anyone else in the family has connected the dots but me. We are starting to see much of this now. We knew this was coming too. We needed communities to support each other through this nightmare and loss. And that is also my intention with this channel. God's been pressuring me to do this because we must really, really need community. And I feel that. Another death of someone I loved happened in June of last year. I made a reel honoring our relationship. It's in this channel. It's on this channel. So my ex-partner, I had to break up with him in 2020 because he also would not hear me. I cannot give someone such an important status in my life, no matter how much I love them, if they're going the wrong direction. That doesn't make me feel safe. And I also had a teen daughter at home to protect. So I had to love him from afar and put our memories away in a box, wrapped with a bow in the back of my head. 6 years of memories. His autopsy report was quite sus. Cause of death says failure of circulatory system. Failure of circulatory system from what? They also refused to give his family any other information, such as pictures, probably because they know the truth would be staring them in the face. We've seen what the jab has done to people's blood. So he was the picture of health, a fitness buff, and a clean eater. He was also a very happy, joyful person. Just really knew how to love. He should not have died. I have a friend here in Mexico who has lost 5 family members in the last 3 years in Canada. All of them jabbed and boosted many times. She also had a member of her family who rocked her as a baby, wished death on her for her refusal to comply. Can you believe that? That's some strong brainwashing to pull apart families and cause such divide, causing people to become hateful and mean to people they say they love. Brother against brother, right? They want this isolation and separation, and 2020 was an absolute bomb on humanity. Divide and conquer. People are weak and vulnerable without the tribe. Many of us are the only ones awake in our families. We need to create a new tribe. Now the evil ones have shown us who they really are, and that was no leak. It was as if they were saying, look what we can get away with, and you can't do anything about it. Helplessness and hopelessness is where they want us. Fearful people are easy to control because no oxygen is getting into the brain, where the reason and the critical thinking is, and no prana is getting into the heart's intuition. Could you imagine waking up right now in the face of all these horrors coming out in the open now? I feel for people just waking up now. I really do. We could say, we told you so, and demand apologies, but I would rather see them take their power back and heal and awaken. But I don't see apologies coming anytime soon. It takes a lot of humility and honesty to admit one's been living in illusion. There's some shame and guilt to work with, too, I'm quite sure. These come with the healing and the shadow work. That takes time. I'm a big proponent of shadow work, and I am currently putting together some tools to help guide the process. This is what we call in yoga the great work. It's one of the most important things to do in this lifetime. It's the hero's journey. You are your own hero first, and then a hero for others when you do the work, the great work. And everyone needs shadow work. No one is ever fully enlightened on this plane. This plane is so dense. We are strong souls. We are highly sensitive in every way, meaning our senses pick up on much more than the average person's does. And we came to this dense place overloaded with sensory information, yet we don't allow ourselves to be swept away into the illusion of it. That takes a strong soul. We really don't understand just how powerful we truly are. We are going to understand the true power of our souls real soon, as this is our time. This time, called the apocalypse, the unveiling, not the end of the world, the unveiling of truth, the light shining strongly on darkness for both collective and the individual. It's an ego death all around, a cleanup of illusion. Us sensitives are bridges to the new improved world. Let's go. And with that, I'll end this video. Peace, freedom, and healing, everyone.